Okay, on this Tuesday, my goodness, what an incredible amount of breaking news. Wow. Holy cow. Much like we had thought, and it did happen. I am actually surprised, and we're going to talk about it quite a bit, as a matter of fact. And also, just programming note, we are going to be live tonight. There's Garney. Yes. We are going to be live. Yes. My goodness, a lot of news. And I'm surprised by much of the news. So we're going to begin in just 3 minutes. Pete is getting ready. Pete, we're going to start in just 3 minutes. Yep. And what's really remarkable is two of the girls that 2 weeks ago, that Friday night, both in custody, for crying out loud. Yes. So with Cheryl, there she is. We had her on. Yes. So it is really, really what a remarkable turn of events that is happening. So that's Cheryl that we had on. And it is, and then we also had on Joanne. If you remember, we had on her stepmother, Joanne's stepmother. She was in the background. We just had them on. There's Joanne. A lot of twists in the story. You're right. Okay. Well, and it's going to happen. That's okay. Yep. Yes. Apparently she was not. Yes. That's Joanne. And that's Cheryl. So we have the 8 of them. They're the 2 new ones. Well, this time it's much different. We're going to start in just one moment. Yep. Well, it goes beyond getting arrested again. It is what the charges are. So much, much different with the charges. Now, folks, we may get some trolls that come in. And yes, and don't worry, tonight we'll have both the Central Falls crew. Yes, they did. Okay. Tonight, we're going to be live tonight about Central Falls. And just so you know, we may get some trolls about Pawtucket. And just to be clear, all these people that are angry from Pawtucket, your anger should be down in New York City. Okay? Like, it's so ridiculous. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got the trolls. It is it's so ridiculous. Listen, I didn't take out that guy, a member of Bucket West. I didn't take him out. So then go to New York, right? You're all upset. Go to New York. I'll bet you even know who did it. Go to New York. All this anger pacing around Pawtucket. I think they were, Josh. Yep. All right, we're going to begin, though. All right, we are getting some information. Got held without bail. JoJo got bail. All right, so that's interesting. I believe Charles is plugged in. Folks, this portion of our program, now that's Cheryl, and that's new. We had her, excuse me. Yeah, exactly. Go to New York. You wouldn't believe the vitriol messages I'm getting. Go. That happened. I had nothing to do with that. Go there. Why was he there? I bet they even know who did it. Go to New York. Let me just come out of the box. Yes, everyone did. I'll just address quickly. Listen, when I post things, they're for our audience. They're for my audience. And that individual who was killed in New York, we knew him. Our audience knew him. I heard from 3 people that said, hey, I think one of the ferry fighters got killed in Times Square, and he was. So we posted that. Well, the family's on your page. Well, listen, as I have said in the past, if you lose a family member, the last place you should be is on my page. I don't design the news for the family. It's for everyone else. We didn't put anything disrespectful. Well, you used his mugshot. Well, gee, I didn't have one of his family photos. My God. Listen, go to depetro.com. We have all the details. All this anger. You wouldn't believe the hate, vitriol, and threat messages I've been getting. Go to New York. Go to New York. That's who did it. There were 3 of them. And it was a vicious, what a brutal way to die. Horrible. The reason they carry a bat or bats and a knife, and they left the knife, is that if anything happens, they could just say it was self-defense. It's very tough to argue self-defense if you have a gun. But it's easier to argue that if you have a bat or a knife, and then it becomes self-defense. So all these people in Pawtucket, and they are going crazy since yesterday and bashing me and attacking me, and all these messages of people I've never heard from, and on Instagram and everything else, and we hate you and blah, blah, blah. Listen, you're so angry, and he was a friend of yours, and you're a gang member. Go to New York. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? And not only that, they know who did it. They know who did it. He knew one of them. I'm not going to we're going to talk about Central Falls, but I did want to say that. This is ridiculous. Disrespectful. What? To report that it happened? Take it out on the New York Post. Channel 10 reported on it. Channel 12. These people lose their mind. You're so angry. The people that did it, they're not here. They're not in Rhode Island. I don't know them. Yeah, that's right. I don't know them. They're either in Queens or Harlem or Brooklyn or the Bronx or one of those areas. I'll tell you where they're not. They're not in Rhode Island. Drive down there. Take it out on them. And as far as someone posted, you should be focusing on who did this. Oh, hold on a minute. I thought, remember, no snitching. So even if someone knows, you're not supposed to rat on who did it. But we're going to talk about Central Falls. We are, because this is major. And people were saying it was coming down last night. I knew about it last night. Yes, we're going to focus on Erica. Thank you, Rob Fuller. It is. I'm taking the heat for it. You know what it is? Quickly on the Pawtucket thing. It is they're so angry. They just want to lash out at someone. I had nothing to do with it. I haven't seen that guy since the night that they all got arrested on the block. Actually, no, I saw him in Cranston when he was part of the crew at the home invasion. I did. I think I saw him in cuffs that night. But all lashing out. How dare you? The family's angry. But I don't blame them for being angry. And so what all these people need to do is New York City is 3 hours south. And I'm sure you go down there, go to Times Square and find out who did it. And that's how you can avenge it. Well, let me just stay on schedule here because we are going to talk about Central Falls because this is new and if you haven't heard it, we had these 2 on our live stream less than 2 weeks ago. Now, all I can do is post the video. Someone said, I can't find the video. It's on the website, depetro.com. It's on the website, depetro.com. Yes. I don't know about that. I have no idea if that's true or not. But let me and remember, our website is brought to you by the Coesit Inn, 226 Coesit Avenue, West Warwick. Lunch, dinner, drinks in the lounge. They're waiting for you at the Coesit Inn. Now, the latest on Central Falls. That is a new photo. Poor Erica. Now, again, this case, though, long way to go. Yeah, it is. 3 hours. Get in the car. You could be there by dinner time, and then you can avenge it. Threatening and insulting and coming after me. For what? Good. Go march around Pawtucket. Central Falls Police, in coordination with Pawtucket Police. Kendra called it. 8 individuals. I also there's a lot I want to say. And again, Kendra, if you want to join tonight, we are going to be live tonight, 7 o'clock. then we can focus on Central Falls. Many of you can be on this portion from now to 2. Not so much, but we will. This is more to inform. We can talk about different things. I have to admit, this happened. This happened, and this was really good police work between both Central Falls and Pawtucket. And that is, and by the way, here are some of the other comments, as if I should be defending myself. Why don't you report on some white people that commit crime? Yeah, we've been nonstop on the Central Falls story. And by the way, I believe, except for one, I think they're all white, as a matter of fact. So, but right now we do have 8. And what I think is interesting, so they are being arrested, charged, murder, kidnapping, conspiracy. And I'll show some of the other mugshots. Andrew Cornell, Josh Brunell, Elizabeth, Stephanie was on the run. They got her in Newport. Also, Brittany, they grabbed her. 3 additional adults. That guy, Chris, we have his mugshot. He was there when they dumped the body. And also JoJo, who is on the screen right there, Joanne, and also Cheryl Blakely. Now, that's different. That's different. Now, on the website, dpetro.com, and if you're, yes, thank you, Chris. It's just ridiculous. It is. All these tough people. Good. Go to New York. That's where they are. I don't know who they are. Okay. They're so angry. Good. Drive 3 hours south. Start walking around. They know who did it. But I want to stay with Central Falls. And that is the fact that what happened was this. This is interesting, and we're going to talk with our legal expert, who is Stephanie Murphy, I think tomorrow. But what's interesting here is the murder, kidnapping, conspiracy. Stephanie got picked up at her sister's house. Okay. Yep. We've had several. Now, we had Stephanie on. So last Friday night, now, the video is posted on the website, dpetro.com. There's not much more I can do than it's right there. And it's labeled Friday night for anyone that wants to view it. But that was the night we had Erica's father on. These are very, very serious charges with the murder. Really remarkable that they are charging them all with this. And this moved so much faster than I would have thought that they would have moved on this case, admittedly. So much faster than I would have thought that they would have moved. What a remarkable job. There's the original 6. So there's the original 6. For those on Facebook, you can send stars. Folks, we didn't give up on this story. Many of you know we've had this story from the get-go. But to go through this is really not an easy case that they have pieced together with murder, kidnapping, conspiracy. Andrew Cornell, Joshua Brunell, Elizabeth Duran, Stephanie, Brittany, that guy Chris, and then now Chris, Joanne, and Cheryl, they're arrested with kidnapping, conspiracy, and failure to report a death. So just to be clear, that's Cheryl. Now, those that were watching, we had her on, not this past Friday night, Friday night 2 weeks ago, less than 2 weeks ago. She was saying, my girl's here. She was the one that said, and we have this again on the website, dpetro.com. I saw her take her last breaths. She has now been charged with kidnapping, conspiracy, and failure to report a death. They also say, by the way, the investigation continues. So just to be clear, Cheryl and JoJo are not being charged with murder. Yep, everyone else held without bail. The ones on, all right. But he's saying top right. So that's Chris. He's not charged with murder. Okay, he's not charged with murder. Cheryl's not charged with murder, and Joanne's not charged with murder. But these five are. These five, as I said, Joshua, Josh, and Liz. You also have Andrew, and then Stephanie and Brittany. Those five are, in fact, charged murder, conspiracy, and kidnapping. And what is, again, we are going to talk to our legal expert. All suspects were arraigned before a justice of the peace last night, currently being held at the ACI. They were arraigned in court. So, and now also the mayor of Central Falls is also speaking out about this. So, but folks, this is, for those that have been saying 8 individuals arrested, connection with the murder of Erica Bader. What is making this so much different is that they went with the murder, conspiracy, kidnapping. Now, again, we will talk to our legal expert, as I said. We normally talk to her Thursdays. I'm going to contact her. It's been a really busy morning between this and the other story. Yeah. Man pleads not guilty to murder of Kylie Montero. He's going to still continue to. That's just a legal element, but that is, I want to, I know a number of people, 8 connection with the Central Falls. Rehoboth man held without bail. There's no way he's not going to get bail. I mean, they can go through the motions. I think a lot of this will be going through the motions. But what makes this so different, Andrew Cornell, Joshua Brunel, Elizabeth, Stephanie, Brittany, isn't it frightening how, folks, we know all 8 here. But what makes this, I think, so different is the kidnapping, murder, conspiracy. So I also, part of me, now I've been telling so many of you this is a tough case. And by the way, it is a tough case. It is a tough case. And with what they're trying to prove, without question, it is a tough case. But that is pretty serious that they're going with the murder, kidnapping, and conspiracy charges. Because then when that ties in, and this all, I mean, so much has happened with this. They did catch up with Stephanie. But what also just comes into play here is just the fact that the conspiracy charge and the kidnapping charge, this goes to people like Kendra and others that have talked about, and I want to commend so many of you that were cooperating with the Central Falls police and were trying to, give them information. And so many of you were saying that, Erica was held against her will. I mean, as we go through all of this, we had, the neighbor that saw her eating out of the dumpster. We had, and also Crystal that lived up top, upstairs, that was, talking about she would see poor Erica cleaning the stairs. And it is really, really remarkable. So now, there's still a long way to go with the case, though, by the way, because I mean, I don't want to listen. It's great that they are now charged, and this is very serious, with murder, conspiracy, and kidnapping. But what also comes into play here is, and we'll see if in fact Erica's dad if he wants to join and come on later. But it is extremely sad how this whole thing turned out. Folks, I want to remind you, happy Thanksgiving to everyone from Propane Plus. Log on at propaneplus.com, residential or commercial, for all your heating and cooling. You can depend on Propane Plus, and always online at propaneplus.com. I also would like to remind you about Watson Materials. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Kendra says she'll be on tonight. Good. Watson Materials. Call them, request a quote at Watson Materials, 401-885-0600. 401-885-0600. Watson Materials, the most complete selection of landscape materials in Rhode Island, whether it's landscape lighting or pavers, retaining walls, natural stone, cobblestone. Call them, request a quote, 401-885-0600. Listen, I'm just going to say this as far as the Pawtucket story. Some of these trolls and others, hey, listen, go to New York. You're so upset. You're in a gang. Guess what? The New York gang just took out one of your members and took him out viciously. They beat him to death with a baseball bat and stabbed him right in Times Square. And I'm sure after talking to police that many times that people would be a false sense of security in Times Square to meet in Times Square, because there's a lot of lights and there's a lot of cameras and there's normally a lot of police. So a lot of times someone feel a false sense of security meeting someone in Times Square at 49th and 7th. And again, notice I said a false sense of security. But for all of this Pawtucket crowd, yes, you're so angry, go to New York. You know who did it. They all know who did it. Drive to New York. Go find them. Go confront them. Why are you sitting in Pawtucket sending me messages? For what? I had nothing to do with it. I'm just reporting on it. They are. Now, I don't know about that, about the father. Haven't heard anything on that. Now, let's wait and see. For those of you that saw the video that we did, we heard all about who ordered the green light and that the father ordered the green light and that they were just following that out. Now, that will be really interesting if that ends up turning into one of the defenses that they use. Again, it's all so early. It's all very, very early. There she is. That was Erica beforehand. But everything that so many of you have told us, and we have said on these, how many live streams have we done? That's why I want to just share with everyone. And number one, thank you for the stars. If you're on YouTube, you can send the YouTube gifts. But this business of, yes, green light, I know, we're going to find out. We are going to talk about it at length tonight at 7. But I did want to mention, these people that are talking about we only can't cover certain crimes involving people of color. As those of you that follow the program know, it is totally false. Who has done more than us on Central Falls? Nobody. Who did more than anyone on Kylie Montero and the killer ended up being Greg Groom? Nobody. Who did more on the Woonsocket situation? Nobody than us. So I reject that. I completely reject that. And I could see some people, I don't see all the comments, but, oh, notice he's doing that. He doesn't do any, like, that is ludicrous. The only reason so many people know who these heathens are is because we spent so much time doing the live streams and talking to the neighbor and talking to the woman that lived behind them, who the boyfriend gave her some weed, Erica some weed. And, for all, I'll say, and how about, I don't want to go back to it, but remember the stepmother and the father had the protest at the Central Falls Police Department? Think how misguided that was. When that protest took place, Channel 10 and everyone else Thank you, Lynn Miller. They didn't realize that he had, according to Stephanie, he ordered the green light. And if you go to Chicago, New York, you can't call off the green light. And Stephanie's sister was very clear with the father. You're telling me right now you're ordering a green light. And according to her, Erica's father said, yes, right at Kennedy Plaza, I'm giving the green light. She said, in New York and Chicago, you cannot call off a green light. I'm quoting the sister. According to the sister, Erica's father said, I'm giving you the green light. That is what they claim is their defense on why they were treating her that way. They are right now, thank you, Kendra, of being charged with murder, kidnapping, conspiracy. Well, there's actually 8 of them. Well, we don't know. We don't know. We're going to find out. That means a lot. Thank you, Kendra. I look forward to having you on tonight. So, yes. Oh, okay. The father has entered the chat. All right. Well, we'll have you on tonight. You and, or maybe that's the stepmother. I don't know. All right. He's saying there was no green light. He's saying there's no green light. We're going to find out. They're saying there was a green light. The only thing I'll say, now we don't know, that could be his, remember his fiance, who also controls that account. So thank you, Pamela. Folks, I put, listen, I want to just let you know, I'm very happy with the coverage we do. We go very in depth. If you just look this past summer, we did so much more on Kylie when she was missing, way more, and learned way more about her and Greg Groom than anybody else. We have done so much more coverage on the Central Falls situation. I mean, listen, it's not even close. It's really not even close of how much we have done ahead of that. And our nighttime of free flowing and going live and having people, joining us and me putting them on the air and the whole thing, we're going to continue to do more of that, especially in light of the fact, no, I'll address this. I don't have to. What are you talking about? Happy. No one's happy. No one's happy. That's false. That's completely false. Happy? What? Who said anything about happy? Not at all. No one's happy. I have nothing to do with what happened in New York. Zero. I'm not in a gang. And I'm not in the New York gang. I'm not in a rival gang. Look at how these uneducated inbreds try to twist it. Oh, so you're happy about it. Who said anything about being happy? What is wrong? But I don't care. We continue with our coverage. And also, as I mentioned, with the Barrington teacher story, what was their source of information regarding the TikToks in the videos with the Barrington teacher? It's listed right in the report that they took them right off my Facebook page. So we're going to focus on Central Falls. I understand. I get it. People in Pawtucket, they're upset. Their friend was killed. Their fellow gang member was killed. They're friendly with the family, whoever. Let me be very clear. We have nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. That's between Bucket West and New York. Whatever gang in New York. These people can't discern the difference between, if you read something in the newspaper and upsets you, if you burn the newspaper, it doesn't mean it didn't happen. We have nothing to do with it. You're angry? I get that. Go to New York and settle it with them. Exactly right, Mandy. We did. Total inbreds. Oh my God. One thing I will say is we do cut through a lot of boundaries, right? I mean, the Central Falls story, clearly, but also Someone said, well, the rest of the media, they're not reporting on some of the stuff that the Pawtucket gang. Well, that's because they don't know. They don't follow it. As many of you know, we work with police. Proudly, as a matter of fact. You're upset about what happened? Go to New York. What I know is these people are in a lot of trouble. Now, Cheryl and Joanne, they're not being charged with murder. Still in trouble. It sounds like all 8 are going to do jail time. It's just a matter of how much jail time. But thank you very much, Kathleen. I appreciate that. Folks, this portion of our program, now again, we will be live tonight on Central Falls. We will. So it's brought to you by Serve Pro of Providence. Fast, thorough, professional. Serve Pro of Providence. Call them 401-941-5500. If you have a fire or you have fire damage, smoke damage, if you have a fire, you're going to have water damage because then they have to put out the fire. And you're also potentially going to have mold and smoke damage. Serve Pro of Providence. Call them 401-941-5500. 401-941-5500. Serve Pro of Providence. I'm going to just come out. Listen, I'm very competitive. I monitor what the other media do. Do you know Rhode Island Monthly? They did a story on independent media and purposely did not. How do you not include me? How do you not include? Who was on? I was on Court TV twice a day for the blanking retrial. That was my April, May, and June. Look at the number of stories that we break. These people get all upset. People were so upset about the Pontigansett gym teacher story. You're in a lot of trouble. Can't make that stuff up, except it was true. Except of course it was true. It was a major story. That's still a major story. But with Central Falls, we're going to go in depth tonight. Now, also, that's exactly right. Also tonight, now subscribers tonight will get a link if you then want to jump on and join. Tonight, right around 7-ish, whenever I finish my dinner, we'll go live. We'll talk about it. And I want to use this as a moment because, listen, I get it. Then there's a lot of haters out there. You have, number one, I get jealousy from other media. With the Barrington teacher, that investigation, that big report, did they say, and we found his videos on the Channel 12 website? No. Did they post, we found his videos on the Channel 10 website? No. We found his videos on the no. Where did they find it? John DePietro's Facebook page had the videos. Yes. They're late in the game. As far as the Barrington teacher, the rest of the media, they wouldn't even name the guy. That's how ridiculous it is. I mean, this is becoming a blowout at this point. But with Central Falls, that is a very good point about the AG's office. Very good point about the AG's office. Again, I want to go through. Now, if you check out DePietro.com, I can explain, Donna, because I recognize your name. But check out DePietro.com. We have everything linked. So just for those that are watching, even though we are live on the radio and we're live on X and YouTube. So the top row, that's Josh and Liz. They're the ones that got married in August. And Erica watched from the window because she had so many bruises they didn't want Liz's family to see. This guy, Chris, he's not charged with murder. He's charged with he was with them to dispose of the body. This is Andrew. Andrew is quasi-married to Stephanie. Andrew has relations with Stephanie. That's Stephanie in the bottom, and that's Stephanie's lover, Brittany. So Andrew, Brittany, and Stephanie, their 3 are involved. And then Josh and Liz. Josh, I think Andrew, I'm not sure. They would have relations with Erica. And we learned from one of them that, let's see, again, I do feel bad if we're not having Erica's picture on the screen. Whoa. But right now, we have put her picture on the screen, but right now we're focusing on who was arrested. And I'm going to go through the whole thing. So what's really different this time, and this is what I want to get across. If you go to the website, look right there. It says details on DePietro.com. So she was on with us 2 weeks ago. You'll see the video. It says Friday night. That's Cheryl. She's the one that said, I saw Erica take her last breath. She's on the screen. She's on the screen with Joanne in the background. In the background. And also, guess who else was in the back? Who else we had on? Stephanie was on with the sister. Do you understand? Right now, who in the media has an interview with one of the 5 that are facing murder charges? Only one. We're the only one. And that video is on the website, posted twice, as a matter of fact. Yes. Now, I have not heard anything about any baby delivered. No. Now, what is interesting, so we had Stephanie on. So, but here's the thing. The ringleaders seemingly are these 2, Josh and Liz. They're the ones that got married. Then you have Andrew, Stephanie. Stephanie has her own home, apparently, or apartment, and that's where she would have relations with Andrew and Brittany. Brittany has countless videos dedicated to her lover, Stephanie. So from what we understand, Brittany was an enforcer on Erica. Liz and Brittany were the enforcers. I can tell you, and this has not, well, they are being charged. I know. So, but what we know is they are being charged. Yes. They're the ringleaders, without question. Yep, they're the ringleaders. This is different than Cheryl. Now, for those of you that watched when we were, that Friday night, and again, I can't say it enough, the video's posted twice on the website, DePietro.com. You can fast forward it, if you want to, what have you. But what is really remarkable to me is the fact that wedding ceremony, and again, I don't care. We were and still are the only ones, as far as I know, that have posted the photos on this whole thing. And that is, it was the wedding. It was the wedding of this photo right there. That's the 5 of them holding a child that have been, for those that are watching, they've all been charged with murder. So left to right, for those that are watching, and that's Andrew, and that's Josh and Liz. They got married. They had the big party outside. There's Stephanie, and then her lover, Brittany, as they're holding this child. And that's Andrew on the far left. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These 5 are charged with murder, kidnapping, conspiracy. Murder charge, kidnapping, conspiracy. I want to commend the Attorney General's office. I want to commend the Central Falls Police. I want to commend the Pawtucket Police. If you'd like to be on tonight, we are going to send a link. I will have Kendra on. We are going to send a link to the subscriber page. Now, maybe you're watching right now and you say, boy, I'd like this. Boy, way ahead of the story, way ahead of the curve. News you don't hear anywhere else. First on news, right? First one at the scene, but also first on the news. Breaking news. Only if you're someone that you like to kind of learn the dirt ahead of time. And by the way, those on the subscriber page singular, you learn and you get way more information. There's a lot of information I post on the subscriber page that I don't post general. So become a subscriber. I mean, it's 49 cents. It's 49 cents. It's worth it. I don't subscribe to the Providence Journal. You know why? They don't tell me anything I don't know. But I would subscribe. And there's plenty of ways you can do it. Yep. Oh, there's going to be a party at the ACI. No doubt about it. Folks, this portion of the program, I want to remind you the clock is ticking. Brought to you by J. Perry Paving. Call them 401-732-1730. 401-732-1730. Letter J. J. Perry Paving. And remember, if you're a veteran, no one is going to give you a better package than J. Perry Paving. So maybe your grandfather's a veteran, or your mom or dad. Call J. Perry Paving today, 401-732-1730. Call them, request a free quote. Letter J, it's J. Perry Paving. I want to repeat with what happened. So there's the 5 charged with murder. And then this is different. That's Cheryl. We had her on extensively. Those of you that saw the video, she had Joanne. So we had Joanne's stepmother on. And then we had that Cheryl, my girl's here. She's safe. She's not, well, apparently maybe she got bail. But I want to be very clear, though. And we'll see if she wants to talk tonight. I'll reach out and see if Cheryl wants to say anything. Cheryl is not charged with murder. And I want to be very clear, because a lot of this can get clouded. Now, again, I have to preach. Don't kill the messenger here. I didn't draw up the charges. Some of you give me too much power. I don't draw up the charges. She's not charged with murder, Cheryl. Chris, Joanne, JoJo, and Cheryl. Wow, I didn't know. Cheryl's 36. Remember, they were in the black heavy metal AC/DC t-shirts. They're charged with kidnapping, conspiracy, failure to report a death. Now, we will find out exactly how much. I don't know how much. I mean, that sounds pretty serious. I don't want to speculate. There's certainly, let's talk about this a little bit. There's deals to be cut here. They're going to want people to testify against the others. So is it possible that Cheryl is actually going to be used to testify against these 5? Now, I thought she told us that she was cooperating with the police. I think so. I don't know. I hope they don't fall into this whole trap of, the 30,000 Zerty bail. Remember, it's 10%. So it's, when we hear these huge numbers, like where do they come up with 30,000? It's really just the 10%. So there will be, that's right. It sounds like there's going to be some deals here, because they're going to need people to testify. And are these people really going to go on trial? I don't know. But what is good news is they're going to be, it's very difficult to get bail if you're being held with murder, kidnapping, conspiracy. Now, I'm also curious to find out, the kidnapping charge is serious, because does that mean, and I haven't heard anyone else mention this, by the way. Yeah, it's 3K. That's right, Joe. Joe, by the way, has been excellent. I want to highlight him. Does that mean that potentially could they face federal charges? The kidnapping, conspiracy, is it possible that they could then also end up facing federal charges? If they face federal kidnapping, conspiracy charges, now you're talking about a very long time behind bars. So I don't know. There may be, if they have the proper witnesses, it's very possible that there's not going to be a deal to be had. But I'll tell you, no, we have not. We have not heard. I haven't heard that. Nope. I think that would be very difficult to prove. So, and we'll learn more. I want to caution people. We'll learn more as we go along. But I would think, and I know how they phrase this, and that is that the train is leaving the station. And if you're either going to be on it or you're going to be under it. But the train is leaving the station. So If you have information and you want to testify and in exchange for having a lighter sentence, now would be the time. I'm more curious to see if you remember when we talked to Stephanie, who's holding the child. Now she'd be away from her children. She was the one on the lam last night. Stephanie, she said that she is not. This is interesting. Stephanie said it was a week ago Friday when we had her on. We had one of the 5 charged with murder, conspiracy, kidnapping. We remember with the sister said, "Oh, let me go get her," and you could hear them whispering. She claims that she has not spoken to Brittany or Andrew. That's what she claimed, that she has not spoken to her 2 lovers. I don't know whether or not that's true, but these 2, that Josh and Liz, seem like the ringleaders. We did hear, remember, Brittany initially was charged because she was a roommate of Erica. And so they charged her, I don't remember exactly, but I believe Stephanie or it could have been Cheryl, I'm getting confused, said that Brittany threw a knife and it cut Erica's leg, and it was a really bad wound that was not treated. They also said that Brittany beat Erica so badly that they were trying to use glue to glue Erica's head back together. That's what some of the testimony was. So, yes, that's exactly right. That's a good way to. No, there's 8 of them. 30,000 secure bond, either some money, property worth. Yes, okay. So it's not what the point is. You don't have to come up with the 30,000. That's the only thing I'm trying to get across to people. So now again, that was the bail for Cheryl, Joanne, and also Chris. These 5 are being held without bail because the 5 are being charged with murder, kidnapping, conspiracy. Again, we have all of the details, the police statement. You've heard the video. If you want to get caught up on the case, we have the video on that Friday night. It was less than 2 weeks ago. We had on Stephanie, we had on Cheryl, and then we had on Erica's father. And it was Stephanie's sister arguing about the green light. So, but as I am reporting, I don't think, I have told some of you, if you really want to get up to speed, there it is scrolling on the screen, details on DePetro.com. Folks, and in the new year, we're going to upgrade the website, but it works perfectly. So they are back in jail. Yes, well, they're being held without bail. But Erica, from what I understand, think of this. Poor Erica. She was, when they found her body, 80 pounds, 5'9", 80 pounds. Half the bones in her body were broken. I mean, they just absolutely beat her up. And then according to Erica's father, it was Josh that he claimed, the father claimed that Josh, that he was having relations with Erica, even though she had passed away. So that is about as polite as I can phrase it. Again, that is according to Erica's father, saying that Josh was having relations with her even after she had passed away, before they had. Thank you, Nicole. I know Nicole knows some of these people as well, not the suspects, but other people that knew Erica. So yes, terrible. Now, again, we also, folks, those of you who have been following the story and following our lives, I mean, what these people put poor Erica through, and you watch, this won't be reported on the news. They won't talk about the dumpster. They won't talk about that we did ask Stephanie about that they made Erica wear a diaper, and that's because she had had an accident. So, but we also brought out, there it is, the neighbor that saw Erica crawling around in the dumpster for food because they were withholding food from her. So now I want to, that is interesting. I want to see that. I want to just double check on whether or not did I get an email saying that. I don't know that. That's interesting. It's very possible. So I'm not going to discount it. I'll circle back with my sources. I have not, unless, did I move to that location? 3 additional people, medical examiner. Hold on. The family claims they discovered she was pregnant at the time of her death. So Channel 10 says Erica's family claims they discovered she was pregnant at the time of her death. I don't know that. So I have not heard that from the authorities. I have not heard that from the authorities. So I did say, I saw someone posted, Channel 10 is reporting she was pregnant. So yeah, she was, Angelo. That was interviewed 2 weeks ago, get arrested. This is my friend Angelo. She was. It's right here. That is, well, actually, 2 of the women we talked to less than 2 weeks ago, Angelo, she was arrested. That's Stephanie. So the family. Now I don't know that. I'm going to reach out and I'll try to find that out. I want to caution. I have not heard that. Erica's family claims they discovered she was pregnant at the time of her death. It's possible. I don't know that. But who, when they say the family, do they mean the father and the stepmother? I don't know. We've had so many of our friends on. It would have to have been in the autopsy, but I have not heard that. So I will try to find that out. But that, I'm not going to discount it, but they don't say who in the family is claiming that. Folks, this portion of our program is brought to you by, and don't forget, happy Thanksgiving from everyone. And we're talking about, of course, Corey at Quality Seal Coating, 401-283-9815, 401-283-9815. Quality Asphalt Seal Coating. Get your garage epoxied. Before wintertime sets in. Now is the time. Get on the list. They can epoxy your garage and patio, or they could do decorative concrete flooring. Call Corey today, free estimate. Quality Seal Coating, 401-283-9815. Now, again, I do want to caution, that could be. I'll try to find out. We know in the past, I don't want to get into that. We could talk about it tonight because there's certain things that I have heard from some of her friends, and we haven't repeated it because I want to, yes, they would have that, 100% have that in the autopsy. So now that could also explain why she was sick all the time. If that were true, that could also explain why maybe she had morning sickness. Maybe, poor Erica, maybe that's why she was hungry all the time. So just so everyone understands, we will be on tomorrow. we will be on tomorrow, but then we'll be off, obviously, on Thursday because of Thanksgiving, and I don't know about Friday. We'll see. But for now, here's what I know right now. It's 1:58. We will be live tonight. We will be live tonight right around 7. And we're going to walk through, and there's several people connected with this. I'll also reach out to some of the different individuals that we've had, that we've had on in the past, and see if they want to join us. But again, I can find out. Well, I mean, there's a lot of things. Thank you, Megan. I like that. How can you find out? How do I find out everything? How do I know she was 80 pounds and when they found her? How do I, there's a lot of things that we do. Okay. Well, we're going to be picking it up tonight. Again, repeating the breaking news, and it is big news today, but the Central Falls 5, now there were 8 total that were arrested. So they also arrested the guy, Chris, and Cheryl, and Joanne. I can only post the video. If you'd like to see the video and you hear Stephanie speaking, one of the 5 charged with murder, and then you hear Joanne and Cheryl, we see them. You hear Cheryl giving, telling us that she was there the night that Erica died. It's the video. All I can do is post it. It's on the website, DePietro.com. All right, if you're listening to the radio, stay tuned for the 2 o'clock news. Everyone else will be back live tonight at 7 and the latest on Central Falls.